Devils of Wickliffe.
The Wickliffe Blue Devils are very happy to be in this position at this time of the season. We're 7-1 and we're playing a 7-1 Chardon team, and I think the viewers of WVIZ are in for a very interesting ball game.
I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to Chardon High School for what hopes to be an entertaining and hard-hitting football game for the CVC Championship. I hope that everybody realizes that this is how exciting and dramatic that high school football can be, and that you'll all get out and support your local teams.
Hi everyone, Mike Masso along with Brian Powers, and we've got ourselves quite a game, and I think you're going to enjoy it because every time we come out here to Chardon, it's always a good one. But we've got a three-way tie for the championship of the Chagrin Valley Conference. In number one is Chardon, of course, 7-1. Wickliffe also 7-1, and both 4-1 in the conference. 6-2 is Chagrin Falls, and they're 4-1 in the conference. While this game is going on, Chagrin Falls is going to be playing Twinsburg. Now that is going to be some kind of game, and you can see why this game is so very important for both these teams. It's going to give them a step up on the conference championship. Wickliffe just barely lost it last year. But there's another important part of this game, and that is, of course, computer playoffs. Both these teams are in the running. And for Chardon, you've got a Division II and in Region 5. And they are in third place, right behind Akron-Buckdale and Minerva. So they're in pretty good shape. Now you take a look now at Wickliffe. They're in Division 3 and Region 9. And they're in fifth place, but they're only about a little over 3 points, 3.4 points behind Youngstown Land. And you've got to be one of the 4 teams to be invited to the playoffs. So you see, there's so much riding on this ball game. And Brian, everything, the weather is great, the field's a little slick.
It really is, and walking the field, the middle of the field is a little wetter than I probably thought it was going to be tonight. I was a little bit surprised, so that could be a factor. When you get in there, look for the teams to move to the sideline, maybe a little more sideline movement, the quick pitches to the side. That's kind of important. They'll stay out of the middle as much as they can.
This CVC is an awful tough conference. Everyone beats everyone else just about every year. Last year, Kensington went to the playoffs and lost in the finals. But Wickliffe beat them during the season. Last year, Wickliffe, in the last game of the season, played Chagrin Falls, as they are going to do again this year, and they lost that game 28-21. So we're not sure who's going to be going to the playoffs, although Chardon's got a pretty good chance. But this is a conference that won 21 out of the first 25 games that they played against independent opponents in preseason. They're a good, well-balanced conference.
It really is. The conference has good athletes. They also have coaches that are strong winning records, and I think that's the key to it. Excellent conference. And again, you go into the 8th and 9th week, no one knows who's going to win this conference. It's topsy-turvy every year.
And that's really the way it should be. Now, we've had Wickliffe before. You saw them in an earlier game this year. They have a very impressive ball club, and they're going to do a lot of things, but basically what they are is power football with the ability to throw.
They will have a power team. They'll use the wing tee or a short flanker, 2 backs in tight, quarterback options down the line, some throwing, a good balance of running. The backs have to block in the offense. But when they throw, they'll throw to Dave Presseron, the end on the left side. Both ends will be tight ends. Dave is the 6'2 senior, line up the left end position. In this Blue Devil offense, both ends will be in tight. He is sharp in his pass routes and is the deep threat. Dave averages 15 yards plus on each pass he has caught. He'll also play safety on defense, a good two-way performer. Number 35, halfback Scott Martin, having a good year. This 11th grader runs very quick. He finds the hole in the defensive line and then attacks it. He has quickness and some drive and force. Scott has the speed to the outside that will help keep a defense honest. They'll use him to move outside. So Chardon will have some trouble with him, Mike. He's run for 895 yards and 8 TDs already.
And that's just on the ground.
That's it, on the ground.
That's Russian. But defense still is the name of the game in football. I think the fans love the offense, but defense is what coaches are really striving to get. The teams to be consistent and be tough. And they're going to be playing, they being Wickliffe, at 5-2. It prevents the running of the multiple formations, though, that Chardon's going to throw at them, double wings, and you name it, that they're going to show it. So they're going to have to be on their toes, and I guess it's going to start with their nose guard when you're going against a team like that. He's got to occupy at least 2 linemen.
He really does. He has to go on that 5-2. He has to go if he's going to the inside or the outside. Then when you get into 5-2 and you get into the ball players, you talk about linebackers. When you talk about linebackers, you have to work on the outside on the 5-2 itself. And in there, Andy Augustine, the linebacker, number 40. Pleasure to watch play this game of football. He likes to hit people. He's a contact ball player. He'll have to use his speed in defending the wide open offense of Chardon tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the nose guard moving, linebackers outside, a little wider defense in the 5-2 than they probably normally play for Wickliffe.
And Wickliffe's defense is tough. They don't give up many points. Take a look at Chardon. And I like to call the coach, Bob Doyle, sort of a gadget coach. He does a lot of fun, interesting things. On a kickoff, for example, we all get in a huddle and try and run it back. He doesn't use it often. When he does, it can be effective. But here is really a multiple offense. They will run out of an eye. They're going to run out of a double wing. They'll run out of a flanker with split backs. You name it, they're going to show it.
And they probably will show it. In order to run all of this, you have to have a pretty good quarterback, and they have it in Howard Joyner, their quarterback, who has to run this multiple offense of Coach Doyle. So it'll be interesting to see him. He's a good field general. He can move with that ball. He also can pass well. He has a nice passing ability. But watch Howard tonight on his option plays. He has a deft ball handling ability, goes into the inside, comes to the outside on the offense. So Howard is a key to watch in this quarterback and moving with that ball. Number 28 is Perry Miklas, the fullback. Perry is only 5'6", not that big, but they have him down 180 pounds. I'm not sure he's really 180, Perry, but pretty close to it. Perry likes to spread the defense out wide, then hit up the middle with him and coming in. So they'll go wide, they'll do double wings Mike talked about, and then shoot Perry up in the middle. The tapes on him point up a nice blend of power and speed. And Mike, he's the leading scorer in this conference, and he also will play middle linebacker on defense.
That's some kind of athlete and go two ways. In weather like this, maybe you can get away with it.
I think you can by now, and he get through this part of the year without the nicks and the injuries and still go at fullback, linebacker. He's a tough youngster.
We're going to be seeing a 5-2. It's going to be used by Chardon as well. And again, linebackers and nose guards have got to be a big part of it, and they've got a good nose guard for Chardon.
They really do. The nose guard in their 5-2 will be Bill Bailey. He's strong, he's tough, he's a two-way performer. He moves hard in that middle line on the 2. He's really the smallest man on the front 5 of the Hilltoppers. Reacts very quickly when that ball is snapped. He's also had 3 fumble recoveries this season. In this 5-2 of Chardon, he's had a good season, as well as the whole Chardon ball club. He'll also line up at the right offensive tackle position, another two-way performer for the Hilltoppers of Chardon.
Now, you notice when you're looking at those ball players that we featured, you'll notice that shirt. I don't know whether you noticed or not, but if you didn't, that is a mesh jersey. So I was asking Bailey about it. Why are you wearing the mesh? Don't you have black jerseys that are, full jerseys? He said, yeah, but we just want to wear them. I said, what are you trying to psych the other team out? He just smiled. So it's a game for everyone, isn't it?
The kids love it. The coaches are ready, and we really enjoy this Friday night football.
We'll have a great one for you. The Hilltoppers are going to be going against the Blue Devils. The winner will be in driver's seat in playoffs as well as the conference. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Chardon Memorial Stadium, where the Hilltoppers are ready to go against the Blue Devils of Wickliffe. Chardon won the toss. They've elected to defer. So Chardon will be kicking off and will be defending the south goal. They're starting a huddle, starting a little confusion when you start the ball game. But they want to get themselves psyched up. They've got their mesh jerseys on. The black and red clad Hilltoppers of Chardon will kick off to the Blue Devils of Wickliffe. On the run, hits the ground at about the 23-yard line. Hitting the ground was Dan Huntley. The offensive line for Wickliffe is run-oriented, and they are good at it. They are averaging 250 yards rushing per game. Their offensive line has size and good technique, but 6 will be going both ways. Line of scrimmage as we start the game. First set for Wickliffe, and the tailback will be Scott Martin. He gets the pitch from Chris Scolaris. And hits the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, and churns for a few extra yards. The defensive unit for Chardon is very physical, especially that line, and they're quick. They have 7 fumbles, recoveries. The linebackers also have quickness and read their keys well. They have 5 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries, and 2 block punts. And all 3 of Chardon's secondary were starters last year. It's on the 23, second down. 2nd and 9. This is Martin again, picks his way, crossing the 25, gets close to the 27. So good bit of running by Scott Martin, number 35, a junior, 5'11", 185 pounds. In the pregame, Brian told you, 895 yards. That's on 169 carries last year. He had 130 carries for the whole season and gained 720 yards. So he's been a busy tailback so far this year. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. And they got their twin running backs. Pitch out, this one goes to Martin. And he is going to be stopped shy of a first down as he gets to about the 28. Bringing him down was Dave Scanlon, which brings up a punting situation for the Blue Devils on their first possession. If you have just joined us, there's still 10 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Back is Dwayne Wood, number 56. He's been still standing on his own 15. The deep man will be Sutta and Joyner. And it's going to be a fair catch. Pulling this one in is Bob Sutka. Offense for Chardon is very versatile with speed. And they'll involve all 4 of their backs, but it's really a fullback-oriented running game. Their line is very physically strong and big, especially the right side. They average about 220 pounds. But the Hilltoppers of Chardon will take over first down from their own 46. And there you see it, a double wing. This goes to their fullback, Big Perry Mickless, 5'6" and 180 pounds. Wickliffe's defense is a very aggressive front 5 that has 13 sacks and 7 fumble recoveries. The linebackers are all seniors and were starters last year, and their secondary are hitters. They have 3 fumble recoveries and 6 interceptions. That was let's call it a 3-yard pickup. Make it a 2nd and a long 7. In motion comes Disapeda. And pulling this one in was Brian Walkup. Gets enough for the first down as he crosses midfield and gets to Wickliffe 42-yard line. Tony Humbert on the stop.
It's one of the offensive sets that we talked about in the pregame. They're in a double wing. Quarterback Howard Joyner is quick, rolls to his left. His left end, Brian Walkup, 86, moves down 8 yards, comes across, takes a hard lick on it, holds on to the ball for their first down.
That's the first down of the game. Tony Humbert, the cornerback, had to finally bring him down. Fullback again, Mickless. And he just pounds straight up the middle. This is power football here. It gets to about the 39, 38. Stopping him was Dwayne Wood with help from Formica and Brian Buheit.
They'll try to do that all night. They'll spread you out, the double wing, they'll go to the outside, they'll have the motion, they'll split you across, get the line split, and hit up in tight with Mickless, number 28, hitting the middle.
So it's a 2nd and 7. Line the 48, and this is the Cepeda on the sweep. He gets inside the 35 to about the 34, where he's tripped up by Mike Yurkic, number 60, a junior at 5'10", 160 pounds. And you're seeing now Cepeda limping off the field.
Takes it at the man in motion coming across, and that's what they'll do. Not only use the motion to draw you away, then they'll give it to him. So you have to key on everybody in that backfield at all times. Wide open offense.
Replacing Cepeda is Mike Scaleras. He is not related to the quarterback from Wickliffe. He's in at the halfback. 3rd and 2. And this is Mickless again, and he gets enough for first down as he gets close to the 30. But that's Wickliffe's 30. And again, Yurkic on the first hit, and Brian Buheit finished off the tackle. 2 first downs in a row for the Hilltoppers. They're averaging 24.8 points a ball game, and they can move the ball well. And you don't see a double wing too often, so coaches have to coach just for one game and teach all the keys that everyone has to read. Looks like that the Hilltoppers are coming, and immediately Howard Joyner, the quarterback, calls a timeout because he wants to get something straightened out here.
But he saw that 5-2 was out wide. Andy Augustine, number 40, was right up in there breathing at the quarterback, looking at him. I'm coming to get you. No, you're not, Howard said. I'm calling timeout. Talk to the coach and see what other play we can call.
Well, let's see what the coach is going to tell him when he said to be putting a stunt like that. There's a good look at 2-year starter Howard Joyner. We're talking to Bob Doyle, the 8th-year head coach here at Chardon. It looks like a flak jacket he's wearing right around his waist. Of course, it goes up a lot higher. They've got that mesh jersey on. To get back to action, it's going to be a 1st and 10. The line of scrimmage, the ball is sitting right on Wickliffe's 30. 7:54 to go, first quarter, no score. Wickliffe took the kickoff, 3 downs and had to punt. Chardon ended up in excellent field position on their own 46. Started this drive, and now they're sitting on Wickliffe's 30. Joyner now calling another play at the line of scrimmage. They're going to the I formation. They got a slot back in and gonna throw over the side. Pulling this one in is the tight end, Steve Wilson, the senior. That is his 11th reception of this season. And Dwayne Wood brought him down along with help from Randy Hamilton.
You would have to think that the quarterback changed the play from the double wing into the I, but the option on the play there was pass to the tight end, Steve Wilson, 85, down 9 yards to the sideline on the reception. Joyner now completing 2 out of 2.
All the way to the 20, that's another first down. That's 3 in a row. They still have Scaleras, number 20, as the running back on the left side. He comes in motion. This goes to the fullback, Nicholas, and he is brought down at the line of scrimmage, and a flag is dropped. Let's see who this one's going to be called against. A holding going to be called against Chardon. That'll take them back.
And there they are. That's the crew that called that penalty. Bill Schneider wearing the white hat, the referee, with Dodds, Cahill, Maver, and Brzenko, the rest of the crew here in this crucial Chagrin Valley Conference ball game.
There's a good look at Tom Rusnick in his 10th year.
Holding penalty, 52, and the offense.
Last year, that was Saley, the center, on the holding call against the Hilltoppers. The Doyle had a year last year of 7-3. He thought maybe they'd get into the playoffs, and they just missed it. He's got a good chance again this year. This game means a lot to he and his team. Nicholas, the fullback. Howard Joyner, the quarterback. In motion goes Scalera. This is a handoff to Jeff Palima on his first carry. And the middle guard, Joe Formica, right there to bring him down. What a hit.
What a hit on Formica. He stayed at home. You had a man in motion coming across, fake to the fullback, and then the halfback coming over. That can give you fits with a defensive line. Formica was there. He stayed home and made a nice tackle on a play.
This is going to be a 2nd and almost 20, but 19 and a half. And there's a flag. Delay of game going to be called against Howard Joyner. Now talk about creating confusion. That defense from Wickliffe is throwing off Joyner. He's not sure what he's supposed to be calling. In talking to the coach, he was telling me that they call 2 plays in the huddle. One right, one left. The quarterback calls it, and he gets the line of scrimmage rather than call 2 different plays. And so if none of them are going to work, the man's in a quandary here.
And the defense does their stunning and moving. It just gives that much pressure on the offense, taking it away off the defense. Very good.
And Joyner wants to throw. Going to be chased. Over the middle. And he caught it. There was a reception. It's about the 15-yard line. Dwayne Wood was in on the tipping of the ball, but Steve Wilson, great concentration, ends up after hitting a Blue Devil, and then turning around and hitting another Blue Devil. Then it goes in Wilson's hand.
There it is. There's the hit. There's Presserin coming up, almost making interception, dropping off, and going to Steve Wilson, 85, completed pass. Here they come.
Well, it's going to be a 3rd and about 6. This is to Scaleras, and skips one tackle, gets away from the second one, and gets into the end zone, or just shy. What a nice piece of running by the senior. 5'9", 170 pounds. Finally, Dave Presserin, who plays the offensive end, had to force him out of bounds. But not until he gets to about the 1.
Scaleras will play either halfback position in the double wing, this time coming out of the left side, moving across after the completed pass that was bounced around on a tip drill. They got the reception on it with Steve Wilson, come right out again on a play and come up with a halfback coming from the left side and moving into the right, making some nice moves. Now here's a nice block up front by Wickliffe, making the block. Lineman, I can't catch his number, coming across. There's some strength there, breaking a tackle. A good halfback, has to be strong, has the speed. Scaleras has it almost into the end zone.
And Presserin, you saw, saved a touchdown. What a great catch, though, and that's what broke, I think, the spirits of Wickliffe. On that reception by Steve Wilson. And that's his 12th reception of the year and his 2nd of the game. Clock is showing right now 5 minutes 45 seconds. And it's a 1st and goal from the 1 now for the Hilltoppers.
You know they like Wickliffe in this situation.
You're right. Touchdown! So Perry Wickliffe gets his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. He's had 3 touchdown passes and now 11 on the ground. And the Hilltoppers take the lead 6-0. The extra point will be tried by Ed Ash. Wearing number 77. We saw him kicking about 30-35 yards before the game. It's up and through. So with the clock showing 5:43 to go in the first quarter, Chardon takes the lead 7-0.
Good drive was set up by the pass, then a nice run by Scaleras. Now just a line firing out. Fullback, 180 pounds, number 28. Wickliffe going up, getting the yard. Good defensive surge by the line of the Blue Devils. But when you only have a yard to go and you have a power back, you can go in here. You can see they really did some nice job on defense. All you need is the yard, and he picked it up.
What they had, Brian, Ed Ash, number 77, a junior at 195 pounds, replaced Scaleras at 5'9" and 170, and he was the blocker that created the hole that Wickliffe got through.
We're seeing more and more of that when they bring him back out and bring in a line blocker and just put him in with some power blocking up front. Let the back follow him through.
This is number 85, Steve Wilson, who will be kicking off. The deep men for Wickliffe with the far side, Huntley, and the near side is Scott Martin, and from the middle is Joe Formica. And now the receivers are moving in different directions to see what they're going to do when they line up on the kick. Going to be a high, deep kick. This is going to go to Martin. He takes it at about the 12 or 13. Slips one tackle, stays on his feet, finally driven out of bounds as he gets to about the 31. Well, they took that punt. They went 54 yards on 10 plays. They burned up a lot of clock, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Second timeout being called. Well, they took 2 timeouts to get that far. Chardon did, because they were a little confused on what the defense of Wickliffe was going to do. Wickliffe in a single wing, and it's going to be an encroachment. 5-yard penalty going to be called against Chardon.
They're really moving around. They had to wait until the offensive set came up, and when they saw what it was, there was a lot of movement on the defense. They just weren't ready for that play.
Defense, still first down.
Formica comes out, and Tony Hubert, number 34, goes in at the right halfback. They're in the single wing. Hubert is far to the left. He goes in motion. Humbert. Fullback, Ron Zinte, number 24, goes right up the middle, picks up, maybe a yard. Runs into Ed Ash and Dave Scanlon of Chardon. And now Andy Augustine goes in as a halfback for Wickliffe.
You can see the fullback coming up. He hands it right off to him, moving in there, and of course coming across on the block, his own man trying to make the block from the left to the right side.
Back to action. In motion goes Augustine. And in and out of the hands of the wide receiver, Dave Pressman. But a lot of pressure being put on Chris Scolaris. Back in goes Formica. Apparently he's bringing in place, and Tom Rosnick. Now it's going to be a 3rd and 5. They've got to get to about the 43-yard line. They're sitting at the 32-yard line. Formica goes in motion. Scolaris wants to throw. He's going deep. No flag. The intended receiver was Formica, who went in motion, and going back with him step for step was Mike Scolaris. That'll bring up a 4th and another punting situation for Wickliffe. The defense of Chardon looks awful tough. They're only giving up a little, about 9.5 points per game. There's your punter, number 56, Dwayne Wood. The deep men will be number 88, Sutka, and the far side, Howard Joyner, number 9 the near side. It's going to be a shank kick. They take a bounce and go out of bounds at about the 40, and they'll call it the 39. That was only a 23-yard kick. Dwayne Wood averaging about 31 yards per kick. The pain is that Dwayne Wood is a backup to Andy Augustine, who normally is a punter, who is playing the linebacker. And he averages about 38 yards per punt, but he has an extension on his kicking leg, and so he is not going to be punting or trying long field goals in this game.
It was almost blocked that time. The outside man coming across just about got in and got his timing on it. Scanlon, let's look for that as the punting game develops later in the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
Dennis Palima takes a pitch from the quarterback, Joyner. He could go all the way. Only Pressman could stop him, and he does. Dave Pressman, another touchdown that he saved, playing tough defense and sprinting a long way to get to Palima.
Mike mentioned that Coach Bob Doyle has a lot of plays in the book. Here you see the fake to inside. There's the shuffle pass to the inside. The old Lee Grosscup kind of shuffle pass to the halfback coming across. Look at the speed. The block that took place in order Palima to come down further. Presserin is playing safety. Took a good angle and stopped the touchdown.
The Chardon's got a first down from Wickliffe's 14. Palima again on that carry. Of course, when you have your wideouts that far, it takes a long time for that play to develop, but it also gives them the option of finding the holes.
Your blockers have a chance to set something up if they possibly can. Palima on the inside counter play, coming across from the right side to the left. Rice, one of the blockers at 2:25, leading the play.
It's going to be a 2nd and 8. 4:05 to go, first quarter. And this one goes off to Scolaris. He is so tough to bring down. He gets all the way to the 5-yard line, about a yard or two shy of a first down. But at 5'9", 170, this senior can really move.
Quarterback coming back. We told you he's a good ball handler. This time he hands straight off, continues on the bootleg play. Scolaris to the right side, picking up some yards, driving across, broke another tackle in there before he's driven down.
That was Augustine and Hamilton in on the stop. Scaleras has a 4.56 in the 40. And this is Mickliffe, touchdown. That's his second touchdown of the game. And his 12th of the season on the ground to add to the 3 he's got in the air. And now it's a 13-0 game. Ed Ash will be trying for the point after. High snap. But good kick by Ed Ash. 2 for 2 in this game. And that makes it a 14-0 score. The offense has been awesome for Chardon, and they're opportunistic. Big plays.
They have been. They've had big plays. They've had the breaks. They've had a couple of nice inside plays. We saw the shuffle pass from the quarterback, leading it to the halfback, coming down, driving down most of the way. That led up to this play with a motion man, Palima going across, and it's just a straight handoff to the fullback, Perry Mickliffe, who's a leading scorer in the conference. Another touchdown, second in this quarter, to add to his league-leading total. Perry Mickliffe moving up the middle for a few yards for a touchdown. And this has been a good defensive team for Wickliffe, the Blue Devils, all year. Just a little over a touchdown a game, so this is really unexpected up here. We expected a much tighter battle here early in the quarter. Let's see what happens as it goes on.
Wickliffe is averaging just a little over 8 points a ball game in the first 8 games of the season. They've already given up 14, and we still have 3:21 to go in the first quarter. Deep kick. Oh, he's coming out. This is Huntley. He'd have let it go. He'd have gone in the end zone. They'd have brought it out to the 20. Huntley gets out to about the 13.
Now, of course, in Ohio high school football, the end zone does not negate the play. You have to either down it or play it. He kind of touched it. He figured he better take it out. He could have gone down, got it out on the 20, elected to go with the run.
Well, this one, minute 24. That was in a hurry. 4 plays, 61 yards. Of course, one, that big run by Palima. And we've got an injured player down for Chardon. It is Dave Scanlon. Scanlon plays a defensive end, and he's a good one. 200 pounds, 6 foot tall, 2-year starter. And they'll afford to lose that kind of talent on the defensive line. If he goes out, he'll have to go off at least one play. Will be a senior, and Ray O'Brien, 6 foot, 185 pounds. A lot of things go on in this ball game, and a lot of things that go on in this conference. Every week you're looking at someone is trading places with someone else, and very seldom in the conference you find where more than half the teams overall are better than 500. You'll find that here in this conference. They've got some of the winningest coaches of any conference in the greater Cleveland area.
Well, you can see why. Of course, over at West G now, Jim Chapman there, an outstanding coach. We know what he's done at Willoughby South. Jack Aruvalo every year coming up there. Bob Doyle having some great time. Rosnick's having a good 7 or 8 years with their program, and there's a few others that.
And yeah, Mike Kearns, who just came in.
Mike Kearns, we all know from Westlake, then St. Edwards, down at Massillon, and now at Twinsburg. So it's a league of good coaches, good athletes, and we're looking at one of them going off now. Number 56, Dave Scanlon, from the outside end position, and he's the one that almost blocked the punt coming across, injured his leg on that kickoff play, and took some time, check him out. We'll have to see if he gets back into action from his defensive end on the right side in the 5-2 for Chardon.
And yes, Ray O'Brien, number 58. You see him on the right side of that line. Will replace Dave Scanlon. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for Wickliffe. This is the Martin, slips outside, and he crosses the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Picked up about 4 yards on that carry.
This is a play that the Blue Devils run so successfully. It's a wing tee. The screen you're seeing there is Andy Augustine coming across. Halfbacks have to block in this type of offense, and then the other halfback goes off the fullback fake, comes to the tackle, moves to the outside. In this case, it was Scott Martin.
And Bob Sutka is the one who tripped him up and caused Martin to lose his balance. And this is Martin going the other side. He gets across the 20, maybe to the 21. So that'll be about a 3-4 yard pickup. So that'll bring up a third. Let's call it a long 3.
The night before Halloween, or someone always looks like that out here on a Friday night. Who knows? Let's hope so. But anyways, Martin, Mike, on the formations, you have to watch where he is at all times. He's at one side or the other in the halfback position.
And he's on the left side now. This one is pulled in by Martin, and he gets enough for the first down as he crosses the 30. Bob Vincicora brought down number 24, Ron Zinte, the fullback coming out of the backfield.
That's the key there. Right through the line of scrimmage, you can see the fullback now. He hits, he delays, he only comes out a few yards, and he comes back into your screen. That's 24, Ron Zinte, on a 9-yard flat pass reception.
For the first down of the game for the Blue Devils. This is Martin, picks his way, and he gets to the 35. 5-yard pickup for the tailback, 185-pound junior. And Jeff Palima, who's another two-way performer, one of 7 that go 2 ways. Make that 4. It's 7 for Wickliffe. Clock showing now, minute 16 to go. This is the best drive so far that Wickliffe has had under delay to Martin. Cuts inside, goes against the grain, and crosses the 45 to about the 47. Well, finally, Perry Miklas, along with Bob Sutka, brought him down, but now that offense seems to be working. They may have made some adjustment on blocking assignments.
Whatever it is, they're doing it, and they're doing it with their power football. Stutter step to the right, coming back is Martin. This time his 11-yard gain. He's worked out of the tailback spot. Another offensive set for Coach Tom Rosnick and the Blue Devils.
He's the only one with plus yardage on the ground. This is Ron Zinte, the fullback. This goes straight up the middle. Again, Perry Miklas on that stop. That was about a yard pickup, maybe a little less than a yard. The line of scrimmage is about the 48. Running out of time here in the first quarter, down to 22 seconds and counting. Again, Scaleras wants to throw. He gets it away. And this is Pressman again on the reception. The left-hander, Chris Scaleras, hits Pressman. Bob Vincicora is there defending, but he could not stop Pressman. Good hands and runs some nice routes. Another first down for the Blue Devils. Clock is running. We may not even get this play off to end the quarter, and we do not. The officials call the timeout. Quarter 1 now is in the record books, and the score at the end of 1 is Chardon 12 and Wickliffe nothing, but they're on the move. Memorial Stadium, and I can't even read our own graphics. The score is 14-0 for Chardon, not 12. When we start the second quarter, it's going to be a first down for Wickliffe from the Chardon 42 and the I formation. Fullback will be Zinte. Martin will be the deep back. And it's going to be a flag, and I guess another encroachment. And I think this one is going to be called against Bill Bailey. I think Chris Scaleras is doing a good job on his kick.
Dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense, still first down.
That'll bring up a 1st and 5. Line of scrimmage now is the 47. Pitch out goes to Martin. Picks his way, gets inside the 35 to about the 33 as he puts his shoe back on. Mike Scolaris, as I mentioned, in talking to Mike, I asked him if he is related to Chris. And he said, you know, we must be way back maybe 5th or 6th cousins, but I really don't know.
Well, they're not kissing cousins tonight anyway.
To say the least. It'll be a 2nd and about 2 for the Blue Devils. Formica in at one halfback, Martin the other. Zinte to be the fullback. Chris Scolaris now is quarterback. This one goes to Zinte. And they just bottled him up. He tried to go outside a little bit. He may have picked up a 1st down. All depends where they spot it. Nope, he's going to be about a half a yard shy. And Cinco and Bailey. Bill Bailey, the nose guard, and right tackle Bob Cinco stopped him.
Mike, in that first quarter, Chardon had 14 plays, 46 yards rushing, 34 in the air for 130 yards. They had it for 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Wickliffe had 15 plays, 34 on the ground, 19 in the air, a little over 6 minutes of possession time.
1st down. Boy, what a block. Number 34, Tony Humbert, who just came in as the halfback. He hit that line of scrimmage and drove the man he was blocking at least 5 yards deep. Ed Ash, the guy he drove back. Ed Ash is a linebacker, a junior, 185 pounds and 5'10", and Humbert is only 5'5" at 150. So another 1st down. This is the 4th 1st down for Wickliffe, and all of them on this drive. Martin, good defensive play. Number 75, Bill Bailey, came shooting through and caught Martin as he was going by, hung on and dragged him down.
We talked about Bill Bailey. He's the nose guard on that 5-2, and he comes across. He usually hits and reacts one way or the other, has a good nose for the ball, has had 3 fumble recovers. He's a tall middle guard, a little different than the Wickliffe middle guard, many of them that we've seen this year.
They've got a flanker out to the far side. That's in the person of Joe Formica. The end split to this side, which is Grimm. The tailback is Martin. He gets the ball. No, he doesn't. And this is pressure run. What a great piece of work by Chris Scolaris. I thought he handed it off to Martin. He pulled it right back out of his stomach and rolled to the right and hit State pressure run enough for a 1st down.
I didn't think he was going to have enough time to get it across because the defense was putting pressure on it. Here's the fakes Mike was talking about. A nice fake carried out by quarterback and also Scott Martin. Quarterback, remember, he's left-handed, so he had to throw off balance, off the wrong foot. Pressure coming 9 and across into the sidelines. Another completion for Scolaris, the quarterback.
1st down. Martin trying to find some room. Can't find much. He gets to about the 18. There'll be no gain. Original line of scrimmage. They'll bring up a 2nd and 10. We are in the 2nd quarter. It's a 14-0 game. Chardon on top. 9:13 to go here in the 1st half. Well, with a record of 7-1, I can understand that. This is 13 plays now for Wickliffe on this drive. And a sack all the way back to the 25. Leading that charge was Dave Scanlon, who had his bell rung earlier, but is back in at defensive end.
Well, I said we'd get back to you if he's back in. Dave Scanlon is definitely back in on the play. It's a double fake by Scolaris to the left side, and he just didn't have any chance in there. Scanlon leading a lot of other blockers, tacklers on the play. Good defense. They just knew it was going to the wide side of the field.
That'll bring up a 3rd and a long, about 17, 18 yards. Again in their eye. Let's see if Scolaris wants to throw. Going deep. And no flag. Intended it for Joe Formica. Back with Joe was Bob Pinsacora, who's doing a good job, his 2-year starter. And there is Joe Formica, 5'9", 155-pound senior. But Pinsacora, 5'8", 165 pounds, has got his hands full. He's got to pick up Formica, or he's got to pick up Dave Pressman at 6'2", at 175. And at 5'8", trying to guard a 6'2" receiver is tough.
Well, let's see what pressure they put on the defense again. It is 4th down.
Wickliffe Fields there in 4 down territory. Screen pass. This one to Martin. And what a great tackle. Open field tackle put on Martin by number 26 you're looking at. Or is that 28, Barry Nicholas?
Okay, Mike, it's a screen pass. Takes a long time to develop. There it is, 7, 8, 9 steps back. Left-hander dumps it off into Martin. But watch this tackle from the linebacker. But now Perry has a hard time getting up. He was a little bit out of it as he went over to the sideline. We'll have to see if he's okay for any offensive action in this first series of play. Timeout call, and I'm sure that's because of Perry Nicholas, the fullback who's playing linebacker, made that great stop on Scott Martin, so with it they had to call a timeout. I have them as their 3rd timeout already in this half.
Wickliffe started that drive after a great kickoff. Got it was picked up on the goal line by Dan Huntley. He gets out to the 13, 16 plays, and it sputters at, what was it, the 20? Something like that.
Coach Bob Doyle worrying about his offense. He had to call a timeout, anxious to see now who's in there in the offense. When Joyner goes up under center, we're looking at him getting a little bit of water. Howard Joyner, number 9, the 11th grader, leading the offensive charge underneath the center for the Hilltoppers of Chardon.
7 minutes and 15 seconds. Wickliffe hung onto that ball, and they come out empty. And this is on a counter play. This one goes off to Mike Scolaris, who's in for Rafi Desapeta, who was injured. Make that. They've got now Chris Steffelben, who's in for Perry Nicholas, who was injured on that last tackle. And he brought down Martin to stop that 4th down play. But Scolaris picked up a long 5. This goes Scolaris again. Kicking outside and gets close to a 1st down. And Joe Formica, the nose guard, along with Brian Buheit, the right tackle, finally brought him down, but a 1st down for the Hilltoppers of Chardon. And for Chardon, that's their 7th 1st down of the game. And statistics don't mean much. I guess the one on the scoreboard is the only one that counts. Chardon is leading it 14-0. There's Coach Rosnick looking a little concerned. Joyner being chased, and he throws it away. And the fans right below is very partial. Joe Formica hit Howard Joyner, brought him down, but the officials say he got the ball away in time. Good headsy play. Look at you see, Tom.
Rosnick caught the ball on the play, so we'll give a completion to Coach Tom Rosnick. But what he would like is a call from the officials saying, hey, I'm not in this ball game, I'm coaching it. I need a call here. I don't think Howard Joyner had anybody in the area, but he did get hit, and that probably Formica, the middle guard, hit him as he threw it, so they figured the ball spun out into the side, and that's the way they stayed with the call.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 for Chardon. This goes to Scolaris again. He gets to about the 40. That'll bring up a 5-yard pickup. That makes it 3rd and 5. Line of scrimmage will be the 40-yard line of Chardon. Up, make that 39. It'll be a 3rd and 6.
Formica, the middle guard, in on that play, not only coming across, making a tackle on a quarterback, then when they pound up the middle, he's right in there. He doesn't have a lot of weight, but he has a big heart.
Well, there are 7 people on the defensive team for the Blue Devils are going 2 ways. There's the 3rd and 6, and Scolaris goes in motion. Joyner. Still loose, and completes it. But a flag is dropped way back at about the 35.
There are flags back at the 35. There's one home about the 48 and one down across the field. I would think
the
maybe...
illegal block here and an eligible receiver downfield. over here.
Okay, an eligible receiver downfield. I thought the quarterback went past the line of scrimmage also, so we'll see what the final call is. But illegal block, ineligible receiver, everything went wrong. It could have went wrong on that play for the Hilltoppers. Remember, there's the line of scrimmage now coming up.
That was Jeff Palima. What a great reception and a good throw by Howard Joyner.
Well, they're still talking it over. At first, they were going to let it go.
Wouldn't want to do that. They gave him a first down
because of the play. So I guess he was waiting to see what the final.
Ineligible receiver downfield over there. Lost it down on the offense.
That's the
fourth down.
The loss it down, and that's what you had to take. That's what the captain for Blue Devils was waiting for, the explanation.
Matt Molick was looking at his coach. He made the right call, and that is now 30 yards of penalties against Chardon and no flags so far against Wickliffe. So punting down. We've got Granito on the near side, Hamilton on the far side ready to receive, and you're looking at the punter, Mike Scolaris. Stands at his own 21. Bang, snap! And it was fouled! But it still belongs to Wickliffe. What a job by Mike Yorkin, who came in from the right end and put his body up for grabs on the block. The bad snap. Scolaris couldn't find the handle, and you got a block punt.
Well, we can look at it again. There's the kicker. The ball is going to skid now. It's muddy right in the middle. He couldn't get it off. He tries to punt now. Coming from the side is your kick, number 60, with the block. He throws it back. No matter if they cover or not, it was a fourth down. They lose possession. The Blue Devils come up with a first down.
They've got the best field position they've had the entire game. This one goes out to Ron Zinte. Zinte gets it close to the 10. Make it the 12-yard line. Jeff Palima had to stop Zinte. There's a 5-yard pickup. That'll make it a 2nd and 5 with 5:05 remaining in the half. This is almost a must as far as scoring goes for Wickliffe. They're down 14-0. Scolaris hands this one to Martin. He puts his head down. He gets inside the 10. May have picked up a couple. They'll spot it right on the 10-yard line.
Like on that play, Dwayne Wood, number 56 from the left guard position, comes across inside trap play, try to get ahead of Martin on the play. Couldn't get over there soon enough, made a block, but not sharp enough to get Martin through the hole.
So Wickliffe now has a 3rd and 3. Scolaris, he hands out to Martin. Martin may have got it on 2nd effort. Let's see how far he got. He's going to be shy about a yard.
Need some tough yards in here. We ISO right now on Martin coming across, putting that ball away. Get it away, Scott, before you get hit. Nice breaking of a block there, coming across, going down a little bit shy.
They've got to get to about the 8. I don't think that the down marker is correct where the ball is, but a timeout is going to be called by Wickliffe. Stops the clock with 3:44 remaining in the first half. And now we have Martin with 12 carries, 39 yards. He's carried the ball 169 times, averaging 5.3 yards per carry. So the defense is holding him under his average. 8 yards on 4 carries for Zinte. And Scolaris has -4 yards on 2 carries, but Scolaris is 4 for 7 for 31 yards in the air, 4 for 5 for 89 yards, though, for Joyner.
Joyner throwing that ball, and some nice receptions in there with Wilson for a couple. Walkup had a big one for 8, and Oyama had the 47-yarder when the ball kind of kicked around a little bit and finally got deflected into his iron, which led to their first score early in the first quarter.
Chardon is out of timeouts on that graphic you saw, and there are 2 left for Wickliffe here in the first half. It's going to be a 4th down. They got a couple of yards. And delay a game. That's going to cost them 5 yards on the delay a game. I'm just wondering if why not go for a field goal? Kirk Brom could hit from that range. 17-21 in point afters, but this 5 yards is going to bring up a 4th and about 7.
That could change now, the call that they would make on the play itself.
And I am not
foul, delay a game, over here.
I'm not second guessing any coach. I just want to get on the scoreboard before the half ends. Out comes Augustine. In goes Tony Humbert, number 34. He's a good receiver, 5'5". He goes wide, flanks out to the far side of the field. They're in the I formation. Fullback is Impey. Martin is the deep back. Martin scores! Touchdown! What a great effort by the 3-year starter and only a junior, Scott Martin. 5'11", 185 pounds, and now he has 9 touchdowns running, 1 in a pass and 1 on a fumble that he picked up and ran for a touchdown for some 52 yards, I think it was. Point after will be tried by Kirk Braun. It's up and high enough and long enough. That's going to be a 40-50 yarder. So with the clock showing 3:37, it's a 14-7 game.
And the crowd appreciated that one for the Blue Devils. Let's look at it again. See a guard pulling on the play, 56. Dwayne Wood leading the play, and right behind him comes Scott Martin, a workhorse of the offense, hitting to the right, almost got stopped, did it on his own, cutting back into the left to put him on the board, making the score 14-6, and then Braun coming in with the extra point. Coach Greg Knackley talking now to Scott Martin.
What a season he has had. This is almost a career for some people. He had 10 touchdowns last year. Rushing, he has 9 this year so far. But as I said, he has 1 pass for a touchdown and 1 fumble he picked up and rambled in for a touchdown. So he's got 11 total touchdowns. But now they're back in the game. 14-7. Swivel kick, and it's picked up by a short man. Very wisely, he downs it at the 31. Well, look at that, 15 plays. The last time they ran it for 16 plays and got nothing. This time in 4 plays, 15 yards, minute 43 on the clock, and they turned around and got themselves on the scoreboard. Minute 53 is all the time it took. And we've got ourselves a new ball game here in the first half. Scaleras goes in motion. And a pitch forward again. This one to Palima. And he slips one ankle tackle and almost rambled in through. This was Andy Augustine who finally brought him down. But he got caught and slipped out of an ankle tackle to pick up an additional 15 yards.
So hard to read your keys when you have something like this coming at you. Fullback, faking the fullback, double wing, faking to one halfback, shuffle pass with a left hand into Palima, 32, who comes across, works to the outside. You really have to be patient on defense to hold your ground. That's twice now they've had that play for big yardage.
Well, Scaleras, as I said, 4, 5, 6 in the 40, and he shows it there. First down. Joyner, a same thing to Scaleras. But it was a pass, even though as long as it's forward, doesn't have to throw it overhand. He intended this one for Mike Scaleras. And he is backing up Rafi Desapeta, who was injured earlier in the first quarter.
A little bit different look on this play for the Hilltoppers, but you can see coming across is Scaleras. There wasn't the fake, it was a deeper drop by the quarterback. Didn't get it into his halfback. Everybody goes after it to recover it, but it's an incompletion.
2nd and 10. At line of scrimmage, the 35 of Wickliffe. Palima goes in motion. And tackle for a loss. Vic Peroni, number 65, 2-year starter. Does a good job in the classroom, too. 3.4 average. And brings Howard Joyner down for a loss. Right, so the line of scrimmage now is the 36. It'll be a 3rd and a long 11. Service at halftime, marching bands, and also scoreboard. We've got 2:15 remaining in this half. See if Howard Joyner wants to throw again. Palima goes in motion. Again, that same play. And almost picked off by Vic. Well, that wasn't Peroni on the pickoff. But they're jamming up that middle where that's going. Peroni had the pressure on Joyner.
The quarterback is going back. It's, again, a little different look. He goes back. He fakes. It is not in there as far as the timing on the play is concerned. Quarterback goes down. He's got rid of the ball already, but took a beating. And let's look at it again. Interesting play with a lot of fakes, pushing it up in there. No one was there.
We're back to live action. It's going to be a 4th and 11. Going deep and completes it. This will be for a touchdown to Brian Walkham. That's the 8th reception and 2nd touchdown. Make that 88. That's Bob Sutka. I thought it was 86 Walkham. Bob Sutka gets his first TD reception. I'll tell you, he's not excited about that, is he? That makes it a 20-7 game. Trying to get Ed Ash in, getting his kicking shoe on. Snap is good, it is up, and the kick is good. That makes it 21-14. Boy, I'll tell you, that's doing it on the 4th down, isn't it?
Boy, that was a drive with wide open football. The inside shuffle pass, a couple hits up the middle. They're doing this without Perry Miklas, number 28. Coming back as Howard Joyner going out across now to Bob Sutka, number 88. Went for the ball, didn't get the knockdown, didn't get the interception, and the other end of it is 6 points on the board with a completed pass. Look at it again. There's almost a defender going up and then coming across. Number 34, Humbert from the corner. Couldn't go on the interception. Touchdown occurred.
And Pressman again was there. It finally brought him down, but not until he got into the end zone. You can tell what holiday this is, can't you?
Go Devils.
B-I-Z. No.
Go Devils from the Blue Devils. Wickliffe High School.
That was wishful thinking on my part. A minute 51 to go in the first half. High kick. This is Huntley. Takes it at about the 3. And he gets out to the 25, where he's brought down by Ray Davies.
Scoring drive, 5 plays, 69 yards, a minute and 40. Joyner to Sotka on the 36-yard reception for the score for Wickliffe, putting them, for Chardon, ahead of Wickliffe, 21-7.
And it's a timeout going to be called by Wickliffe. Down, injured for Wickliffe for Chardon is Davis Matthews. Plays on the specialty teams. And now Joyner, 6 of 9, 154 yards. And coming into this game, Joyner has only thrown 90 times in 8 games. Already he's thrown 9 in this first half. And he's a 47% thrower. And he has thrown them for long yardage. He's got 2 35-yarders, one to Satka, and the other to Palima, and also a 47-yarder to Palima, and then Wilson, a 19-yarder. And 1 for a touchdown, 2 touchdowns for Miklas on the ground. And that's why they've got 21 points.
Throwing that ball, I think, in the beginning of the game, the top of the show, I said he'd throw about 10 times in the whole ball game. He's thrown 9 times already in the first half, and as Mike said, completed 6 of them, but 154 yards against a good defensive team for the Wickliffe Ball Club, but 21 points on the board already for Chardon. Very difficult for Wickliffe. The type of team they are, they like to ground it out. They like to go with the wing T with a halfback blocking, fakes into the fullback, Martin off tackle, then Zinte hitting up into strong. It's a little bit difficult to catch up. They'll need a touchdown early in that third quarter. Of course, they'd like one now with only a minute something left on the board.
That's Matthews now leaving. It looks like it's that right leg. Could be a knee or an ankle. Let's hope it's nothing serious. Wickliffe will take over, first down from their own 36. Clock is showing 1:45 to go in the half. Again, let me remind you, great entertainment for you. The marching bands, both from Wickliffe and Chardon. And, of course, we'll have scoreboard. We've got Grimm and Augustine are wide. There's a draw play to Martin. He is so difficult to bring down. And he crosses the 30 to the 33, and a flag is thrown. It could be a face mask.
Face mask, number 20.
Scott Martin talking to the officials, going to take some time to get his helmet fixed in there, because if we get a chance to see it, here's the play coming up to the right side, breaks one tackle, comes across into the sideline now on the Wickliffe bench. There's the obvious face mask. He tried to pull the hand off of it as soon as he could. Official threw that flag, you see, and it's the big 15-yard penalty. With that goes the first down, and room now for the aerial game of the Blue Devils.
Number 20, first down.
Minute 33 to go in the half, and very quickly Wickliffe is up to the line of scrimmage now, so time won't tick off. And just could not buy enough time. Chris Scaleras, they just kept on coming at him. The loss is all the way back to the 43-yard line. That's a loss of about 8. That's what it's all about, really. Again, Joyner, and overthrows number 10, Joe Formica, who's in at one of the running backs. Got good speed, Joe does, but he's only 5'9". You can't get that ball too high above him. Well, it stops the clock with a minute 55 to go in the half.
Andy Augustine, number 40, is in there now, and also coming across is Matt Granito, number 21, out on the wide spot.
I have to lean out of the press box to see the scoreboard. It's 55, not a minute 55. And caught from the blind side is Chris Scaleras. Bringing him down was, I think it was Mike Hummel. I could be wrong on that. We'll check it. Time is running out. They haven't stopped the clock. 29 seconds. We're going to let it run all the way down and just apparently punt and not give Chardon an opportunity to get any plays off, because it is fourth and about 20 yards. Delay a game will cost him 5, which is sort of academic at this point, because the clock is stopped with 14 seconds to go in the first half.
Dead ball foul. Delay a game. Offense. Fourth down.
Going back, you see Dwayne Wood getting ready to punt. One man deep, though, for Chardon. The kick is up. It takes a bounce, and it will die inside the 45 at about the 44. And that whole kicking exercise took 10 seconds. So coming in for probably the last play of the game, or half, unless we have a flag, Chardon will start off first down from their, let's call it the 45. Nose of the ball just shy of it. And that ends it. They didn't even get a play off. They wound the clock. Chardon didn't even come up the line of scrimmage. So that ends it. The score at the end of the first half is Chardon 21 and Wickliffe 7. We'll be back with the halftime marching bands and scoreboard right after this. And coming on the field to entertain you, the Wickliffe Blue Devil Swing Band under the direction of Michael Elias. The announcer is Robert Byers. Let's go down and enjoy the Wickliffe Blue Devil Swing Band, Hilltopper Marching Band.
Welcome for your halftime entertainment, the spectacular Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band, under the field direction of Drum Major Greg Ryan. For their first number, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm things up with a Latin number called El Tigre Dorado. And now the Hilltoppers would like to feature the dynamic Topperettes in a number entitled Hit to Be Square. are no stars out tonight, but let the Hilltopper Band take you there with their final number, Star Trek Voyage Home.
Fine job by the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. We want to thank Robert Doyle, the director, and Roger Horvath, who is the announcer. And the score at the end of the first half is Chardon 21 and Wickliffe 7. We'll be back with the second half, but first, let's see how Sugar Falls is making out. Let's go to scoreboard. They lead by 14, 21-7. The Hilltoppers of Chardon. And here are the stats to prove how they got it.
Well, they did it with that ball in the air. The passing yards, the big one that comes right at you there, 154 yards with their rushing of 42, 196, 8 first downs. They've had penalties, but it hasn't really hurt them in their 21 points in the first half. For the Blue Devils, 50 yards rushing, 33 passing for their total of 83, 6 first downs, 2 penalties for 10 yards. Possession time 14-28 for Wickliffe. They had 33 plays. Chardon had 23 plays in the first 2 quarters. A little bit different in the first quarter, but then a long drive that Wickliffe had getting down to the 16-yard line, not being able to score, running out of downs.
On the field to entertain you, the Wickliffe Blue Devil Swing Band under the direction of Michael Elias. The announcer is Robert Byers. Let's go down and enjoy the Wickliffe Blue Devil Swing Band. Hilltopper Marching Band. For your halftime entertainment, the spectacular Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. Under the field direction
of drum major Greg Ryan. For their first number, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm things up with a Latin number called El Tigre Dorado. And now the Hilltoppers would like to feature the dynamic Topperettes in a number entitled Hit to Be Square. There are no stars out tonight, but let the Hilltopper Band take you there with their final number, Star Trek Voyage Home.
job by the Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. We want to thank Robert Doyle, the director, and Roger Horvath, who is the announcer. And the score at the end of the first half is Chardon 21 and Wickliffe 7. We'll be back with the second half, but first, let's see how Sugar Falls is making out. Let's go to scoreboard. They lead by 14, 21-7, the Hilltoppers of Chardon. And here are the stats to prove how they got it.
Well, they did it with that ball in the air. The passing yards, the big one that comes right at you there, 154 yards with their rushing of 42, 196, 8 first downs. They've had penalties, but it hasn't really hurt them in their 21 points in the first half. For the Blue Devils, 50 yards rushing, 33 passing for their total of 83, 6 first downs, 2 penalties for 10 yards. Possession time, 14-28 for Wickliffe. They had 33 plays. Chardon had 23 plays in the first 2 quarters. A little bit different in the first quarter, but then a long drive that Wickliffe had, getting down to the 16-yard line, not being able to score, running out of downs. So for Wickliffe, they're going to have to put that ball in the air. They have 4 out of 8 for 31 yards. They have to get on that board early. The way Chardon is moving with that high-powered offense, they were exciting in that first 2 quarters.
Brian, the thing is, you've got to give Howard Joyner, the quarterback for Chardon, an awful lot of credit. He's completed right now 6 of 9, 154 yards, as you mentioned. But he's throwing against a team that is in the secondary. I'm only talking about the linebackers in the secondary. Have 15 interceptions amongst them. And yet, Joyner's been able to pick them apart.
Been able to do it by good, sharp passes, good receivers, but that wide-open offense has just stretched and spread out that defense of Wickliffe with the double wings and the coming in. There's just so much pressure on the defense. Then the quarterback drop back, and it gives a coach like Tom Rosnick some problems that he hopes that he settled down, got together in the halftime, went over it to make sure that they were all set. And this is what we'll see here as they get ready for the kickoff.
So let's see what Tom Rosnick said in the locker room to see if he can make some changes. Kicking off to start the second half will be the Blue Devils of Wickliffe. Teeing up the ball, you're looking at Kurt Braun, number 36. And your receivers are going to be Willie Bibb, Mike Scaleras, and Jeff Palima. Scaleras and Palima, great running backs, with faster of the two, Scaleras, who's just under his 5'6" speed. And he goes to Scaleras at the 10. And he gets by the first wave, and he brings it all the way out to the 30. Bringing him down was Joe Formica.
That's the kind of tackle you expect out of Formica. He's been doing it all night. That's the middle guard. He can hit people. He gets up there even on the kickoff. Specialty team man coming down, making a fine hit.
So Howard Joyner will be a quarterback. Mike Scaleras at one running back. Perry Nicholas will be at the fullback, and Jeff Palima will be the other running back. And it's changing the play. The line of scrimmage is Howard Joyner. And going straight up the middle was Perry Nicholas. Number 28, their fullback, and picked up about 4 yards.
They changed the ball at the line of scrimmage. Formica dropped out of the middle guard. Wayne Wood, 56, the bigger of the two, went up in there, and a play call right up the middle on the defense, even though they picked up 4, almost 5 yards. Came across with a little different defensive look.
4.5-yard pickup, about a length of the football away from Chardon's 35. Palima goes in motion. And almost pulling that one in. Tony Humbert in on the stop with number 86, Brian Walkup. He had one reception already in this ball game. Go ahead, Brian, I'm sorry.
Walkup coming out of the end position, and they go to that passing game. Mike mentioned Joyner having a good first half, going up there. Boy, did he go up for it almost. His momentum just pulled away, just couldn't keep on to the ball. The physics of it, it went away going against the force.
3rd and a long 5 for Howard Joyner. And this is Scaleras, gets the first down, and it takes 3 Blue Devils to bring him down as he gets close to midfield. Leading that charge was Randy Hamilton along with Matt Molick.
This offense lost nothing at halftime, coming out with Scolaris from the left to the right side. Good blocking up ahead in there. Number 56, Scanlon throwing a block, and a halfback, Mike Scolaris, number 20, doing the rest to the right side, picking up another first down.
The halfback on the left side is Jeff Palima. The right side is Mike Scolaris. Nicholas is the fullback. In motion goes Scolaris. He gets the call again to the short side of the field. Oh my! Just head-to-head collision as Scolaris crosses midfield and gets to about the 48. I'll tell you, Mike Scolaris is a handful.
He is. He comes across. He has the speed. He has the strength. They're really going with a balanced line. It's got wide line spacing. It's a double wing in the outside. That time they pulled 2 guards to get a hold of Scolaris. It really gives you a lot of different looks. That defense is having problems.
It's going to be a 2nd and 6 for the Hilltoppers. And they're into Blue Devil territory. This one goes to the fullback, Perry Nicholas. He gets the first down, and more, and more, and more, and more as he gets close to the 25. Good piece of running by the fullback, 5'6", 180-pound Perry Nicholas.
Perry Nicholas back in the ball game, shaken up in the second quarter, had to spend some time over on the bench on offense and defense. Back up strong here, 22 yards. Tough yards for the strong fullback going down on a play.
That was Andy Augustine and Dave Patterson on the stop. Nicholas has carried the ball 100 times coming into this game, and he has 7 carries in this one. And tipped away. Tipping that away was Dwayne Wood. If not, that would have been complete to number 85, Steve Wilson.
Wilson is 6'4". Now the quarterback now, it pumps once and fakes. There it is. I can't get the number, but there was the tip coming across. It was the linebacker, Wood, making a tip on the play, keeping it away from the offensive man, Steve Wilson.
2nd and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 25. This is Scolaris again. He's got the blockers in front of him. And good defensive play, spreading that out. Andy Augustine was there in on the stop, but number 25, the monster back, Jeff Grimm, at 185 pounds, senior, good all-around athlete, and good in the classroom, carries a 3.8 average. There's a good look at Jeff Grimm. Member of the National Honor Society, he broke up that play and allowed Augustine to come in and make the tackle. Took on 2 linemen.
Sacrificed his body, went into the interference. Someone had to do it. It was Jeff Grimm.
So it's going to be 3rd and about 7. Joyner gets it away, completes this one. This was Perry Nicholas, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. Augustine brought him down, but not until Nicholas gets the first down.
Again, not afraid to put that ball in the air. The guards pull. It's a short rollout. It's to the left. He's a right-handed quarterback. He had to come back. And what they do is put Nicholas, who lines up in a fullback position, through the line and then just cuts over a little bit of a curl, and the completion on the play from Joyner to Nicholas.
And Joyner now is 7 of 12 for 182 yards. Make that 162 yards right up the middle. Just trying to keep the defense honest. And they rose to the occasion. That was Nicholas on the carry again. We're in the 3rd quarter with 8:38 remaining, and it's a 21-7 score. But the Hilltoppers of Chardon are threatening again. They've got the ball, a 2nd down and 8 from the, let's call it the 12. And this one goes to Nicholas again. I don't know if it's because he's only 5'6" and they can't get a hold of him, but he just slips tackles so easily. Molick finally had to bring him down. Matt Molick, the left tackle. The track man's a sprinter. Can you imagine that? A left tackle at 5'11", 210 is a sprinter.
Don't hear about that too often in a tackle position.
Well, what Chardon's had to do is they had 3 fullbacks, or 4 fullbacks really, but 3 of them were moved up into the offensive line, and it has worked for Bob Doyle. Joyner Whoops! And at the last minute, just knocked away by number 25, Jeff Grimm again. He has had 4 interceptions already, but he's knocked that one away at the last second.
Good defensive alignment because there are a lot of change from the line coming back, flanker going up, changing positions, just at the last minute coming across with a good hit on the play and knocking it down. The halfback coming across Grimm, number 25.
And if he hadn't have been there to knock it away, Steve Wilson would have had a touchdown as we get ready to have Ed Ash try for a field goal. And he is going to be spotting this one at the 24-yard field goal. Oh, does he have a leg? Woo! Right straight through the uprights, and that makes it a 24-7 game. And that is just about the Hilltoppers' average, 24-8 in the first 8 games. They've been averaging about 175 yards on the ground, and right now they have about maybe 110, something like that, 120. But Joyner is 7 of 13, 162 yards. He has made the difference.
Really has been. Again, on that drive, a nice balance between the passing game with Joyner and then the outside running at the inside with Nicholas, outside running with the halfbacks, coming up with Nicholas to the left side, moving down, and then just getting there. Defense finally held for Wickliffe, knocking the pass down. Then they come up with another thing, the field goal with Ash.
This is Steve Wilson, number 85, who's going to be kicking. And the deep men are going to be on the far side, Huntley and Martin on the near side. And another deep kick. And this one goes to Huntley at about the 2. Cuts it inside, gets a block and a flag. Well, this could be against Wickliffe, and it is. It's a clip.
Just as the lane opened, the official threw it, and really I think the clip, when it's going to take place, maybe was after the runner had passed where the man was. Let's look at it right here. There it is, to the back and the side. The man turned his back just at the right time. It started to be a good block, and then that's the decision of the official on the hit, and they decided it was an illegal block. So it'll be the penalty and take away the run.
Number 24, offense, first down.
Wickliffe will start off at their own 8-yard line. First down. A quarterback, Chris Caleras. First possession for Wickliffe in this half. Trying to come outside is Scott Martin. But again, the defense just very alertly strings it out and brings Martin down after no gain.
Linebacker Ed Ash, number 77, who we saw kick that field goal just a minute ago. He plays the linebacker in the 5-2 alignment of the Hilltoppers, coming across, stopping Scott Martin.
So Martin will be at one running back. Ron Zinte will be the fullback. And now Humbert is in the backfield for Wickliffe. Martin. Well, that's gang tackling for Chardon. Every time Martin seems to get through the line of scrimmage and picks his way, and then of course the linebackers and the monster back just come over and bring him down. First hit made by Rob Cinco, number 54. Martin now at 60 yards. He needed 105 to hit 1,000 yards. He came into this game with 895 yards and 169 carries and averaging 5.3 per carry. That's how tough he is. Third down. In and out of the hands of the fullback, Ron Zinte, number 24. And right there was Perry Nicholas, the linebacker. So it means that the Blue Devils are going to have to punt again. You've got to give an awful lot of credit to the defense of Chardon. They're stopping a team that averages 25 points plus a ball game. Greenwood. Make that. And a fair catch at the 47 or 48 yard line. Howard Joyner down downs it right there, and Chardon finds themselves in excellent field position. Most of this second half and third quarter really has been played in Wickliffe's half of the field. We've got 5:48 remaining, and it's a 24-7 ball game. Chardon with the lead, and they've got a first down from the Wickliffe 38. In motion, Palima. He gets the ball in a handoff from Joyner. Tries to cut it upfield. Look, he's still on his feet. And there must have been 4 or 5 Blue Devils there to wrestle him down, but he just doesn't go down easily.
Not at all. Palima comes across from the right side to the left. He is a strong runner, which you need. Joyner's up under center. A good handoff now to Palima, picking his hole. Now he's ready to burst through at the speed. Didn't get it there, didn't get much. He took a pounding really there by the linebacker or the outside tackle. Buhite, Molik were coming in across there, so he paid the price for that gain.
Yeah, also Peroni was there at 185 pounds. So it'll be a 2nd and 8 for the Hilltoppers. And this is Palima again, who's going to throw it. Throws it deep. And it's intercepted. Pulling that one in, an interception, Randy Hamilton. A 2-year starter. That's his 2nd interception of the year. As I mentioned earlier, there's a team that's got 15 interceptions this season. They get their first of this game.
It's the type of play they use, the sweep, and the halfback comes across and he stops and fires. It's the end coming across deep from the left to the right side. That play is either there or it isn't. It's usually open for a touchdown. This time was open. The interception took place.
Wickliffe will take over. First down from the 9. Let's go! Scaleras in and out. Just hit the shoulder pads of number 25, Jeff Grimm, and bounced out just as he got the ball there. Bob Sutka.
Quarterbacks have to be quick. Scaleras is that. He has to find that receiver. He's got the man in mind. He gets the left hand, good tight spiral, throws it into Grimm. Got in too far to the shoulder pads. Couldn't get it away from the body before he could cradle it.
2nd and 10. This is to Martin. And they just converge on him. He may have got back to the line of scrimmage close to the 10. Simcoe and Bill Bailey, the nose guard, and Simcoe, the right tackle. You know, Simcoe, number 54, 6'1", 184-pounder, was a gym class recruit last year. Worked his way into the lineup, and he's playing himself one whale of a defensive tackle position. He's only a junior. He's had 2 fumble recoveries, and he's had a block punt. And on top of that, in the classroom, he carries a 3.4 average. 3rd down and 10. And intended this for Dave Presser, and it was just too much pressure on Chris Scaleras, and he just couldn't get any zip on it. He was fighting some of the defensive line that was charging into him. So this will bring up another punting situation for Wickliffe. They just can't seem to get that offense in gear. Dwayne Wood will be punting again for, that's Dwayne. Wickliffe, the deep men are going to be Sutka and Joyner. Wood in his own end zone. Left-footed kicker gets it away, and a fair catch, and it will be down at the 39-yard line. Downing that was Sutka. There's a 30-yard punt, but a good rush put on by Chardon, but they'll take over from the 39. That's 30, well, let's call it the 39-yard line. The last time they started off at the 37, this time the 39, but both times it's been on Wickliffe's half of the field. This is the fullback, Perry Miklas. Miklas gets to the 37, 2-yard pickup. They have a 2nd and 8. We've got 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And Chardon with a 24-7 lead. In motion goes Palaima. And a flag is thrown. Palaima with the ball. And he gets inside the 35 to about the 34, but there was a flag thrown by the back judge. The referee. Illegal motion called against Chardon, as you saw.
See if we can see any movement now.
Oh, yeah, both.
Oh, you can't have two of them going. That's what we had. The fullback moving out. And what they usually do is come in motion with the wing. It's time to the right side. Palaima almost stopped the play, but the flag doesn't stop it. You have to get a whistle, so then he decided to keep on going.
Motion on the offense.
Stopped it.
All right, timeout.
Timeout is called by Chardon. That's their first timeout of this half. And they're going to want to take out Howard Joyner. He's going to go over and talk to Bob Doyle in his 8th year. He's done an excellent job. There you're seeing Bob Doyle and Howard Joyner. Doyle played at Chagrin Falls. In fact, he played under Joe Payai, who's still the coach at Chagrin Falls. He was a defensive tackle and nose guard. And also was for Hiram College under Joe Malsimer. And he was a fullback there. So he's really turned the program around the last 8 years. He is right now 55-21-2, including this season.
Played under some pretty good football men. Coach Payai has been 29 years over at Chagrin Falls. Joe Malmister at Hiram and Heidelberg. Now is the athletic director at Youngstown State University.
Next Friday night we'll have another great game for you. We've got a couple in mind. See what happens. You saw the scoreboard. I didn't, but that Lakewood Shaw could be one whale of a game. It's going to be a 2nd and 13. And an audible called by Howard Joyner. This goes to the fullback, Perry Miklas. And he gets back to the 36-yard line where he runs right into Matt Molik. Molik 210.
Give Howard Joyner the call. Now we see the end result of a good run by Perry Miklas, but what they had is Augustine coming in, moving the middle guard out, bringing a linebacker in. With that, Joyner calls to both sides, calls the play, gives it to Miklas, only a junior. He really reacts to the defense. Some good offensive calls.
It's going to be 3rd and 8. And this one goes to Palaima, and he doesn't pick up much. He gets to the 35, a gain of about a yard, and I would assume that the Hilltoppers are going to have to punt it to the Blue Devils of Wickliffe.
Mike, if they do, which they are, it should be their first punt of the game. We've seen a lot of the kicking team for Wickliffe. Chardon now will see their punt formation.
And Wickliffe, when they get the ball, will only have about 2 minutes remaining in this quarter. There you're taking a look at Mike Scalaris. Again, no relation to the quarterback from Wickliffe. It's going to be a short and a high kick. And sliding down, and maybe even very fortunately, because I'm not sure whether he could have gotten to that ball in time. 24-7, that's the score. We're running out of time. That was Matt Granito, who was going to that ball and slipped down. The clock now shows 1:44 to go in the third quarter.
Like on that punt, Scalaris, the punter, went down, the receiver went down, but he got that one off. Remember the first time that the punt was blocked by Wickliffe.
In motion goes Augustine. Almost intercepted. 32, almost picked it off. Jeff Palaima, who's also a running back and plays the safety and plays it well. He this year has 2 interceptions and 1 fumble recovery.
They have to put that ball in the air. They're down, of course, 24-7. Quarterback Scalaris looking now, coming across his receiver. You can see just at the bottom of the screen, fell down. It was really before it got up this far. Receiver about 5 yards before that, bottom of your screen, slipped on the slippery turf.
2nd and 10. 1:39 to go. Third quarter. This is Martin, and he trips over someone's legs as he crosses the 25, gets to about the 26, which may be about a yard gain, or no gain at all. Well, that's 1 yard. We're at the 16, and the last line of scrimmage was the 15. Press run is split to the near side. He's got a lot of room here. And being chased is Scaleras, and he is sacked inside the 10-yard line. But a flag. Chris Stiffelben sacked Scaleras, but there's going to be a flag, and it's going to be against the Hilltoppers.
Quarterback now, Scaleras. This is a rollout. Now he's flooding the zone. He has 2 men. Press run. There's no way he can get across. There's a face mask call. Official throws it down, so it will come across here. It'll be a first down. They get a chance to put that offense in gear. But it was good pursuit. But at the end of the play, the penalty took place.
There were 3 Hilltoppers coming at Scaleras.
They didn't have a chance. They had that extra fake, but they are coming now. It's so difficult to pass when you have to.
Little discussion.
Face mask, 43, 3rd down.
Oh, they don't get enough for the first down.
I thought they did. I'm sorry. I thought they came across and had it.
So it's going to be a 3rd and about a yard and a half. And Martin gets the pitch from Scaleras. Boy, what hitting. Bam, and he's still on his feet and doesn't want to go down.
He is a load. Scott Martin, no way was he going down. He is trying to get first down with short yardage to go. They like to go the close side of the field where they pull some men in front of him. A quick pitch to Martin. He's as tough as they come on the outside, but just nowhere to go. How he avoided 2 tackles in a row. He stayed up. He never went down. 5 hits on him.
He lost a yard on that play, and it's going to be punting. This is Dwayne Wood. Back we have Sutka and Joyner. Joyner's number 9. And blocked in the end zone. Nope, not quite. I thought it was going to roll in. Yes, they did. No, the official said no on a 1-foot line. But a flag is down at about the 30, or about the 22. This is going to be an important call. And it looks like it's going to be against Chardon.
Well, they may take the block away, but they aren't going to take the excitement of this play away. Chardon coming across with the block. Here's referee Bill Schneider.
Hold it. 33 holding over here. White captain.
That's Ray Davies, a linebacker replacing Miklas.
Unusual call with the holding against the defense unless he held to pull a man out so someone could come up through. But here it is. There's the block on the play. I couldn't see the holding, and of course the official could see it. Just take it away from him.
That was Brian Walker, Brian, on the block. He had a blocked extra point earlier this year, and also a fumble recovery, but he's the one that blocked that punt. 3-6 student in the classroom, another good all-around athlete. So many of these players are 2 and 3 and 4 sport people. And on top of that, they carry great point averages, but a first down.
Defensive holding, number 33, first down.
I was just looking, the ball boy ran out and took the ball. It was still back down on the 1-yard line.
Final 3 seconds of this quarter. And that ends it. They wound the clock. Time runs out. That ends the third quarter of play with the score 24 for Chardon and 7 for Wickliffe. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this. And we're back to the Chardon Memorial Stadium where Wickliffe got a first down on that holding penalty against Chardon, and their first down is going to be at their own 34. Taking to 33. They're in the I formation, the end split near side, or the flanker near side, both ends are tight. Here goes Martin. Everyone except 4 players. 7 tacklers in on Martin.
3 quarters, Mike, for Chardon. 41 plays, 114 rushing, 162 passing, 278 total yards. For Wickliffe in 44 plays, the end of 3 quarters, 52 yards rushing, 31 passing for their total of 83. Quite a difference in the running game and the passing, and that's why your score is 24-7.
2nd and 10. Joyner wants to throw in a play action. Gets it away, underthrown. He intended this one for Scolaris. Joyner intended to get it to Scolaris. Make that Scolaris on the pass. Correction. But the intended receiver was Matt Granito, number 21. And it's going to be a 3rd and 8. Then play action. Then he had Martin open just a little too wide. It would have been short of a first down. But with his running ability, maybe he would have been able to pick it up.
Trying to get him in with the big action plays, trying to have him break it off, or on a passing play, just can't get the ball to him.
Wood will be going in for the Blue Devils, number 56 to punt. Brian will be standing inside his 25 as he gets ready to kick the Satka, number 88, and Joyner, number 9. Rush is on, good kick away, and it's going to take a Wickliffe bounce, and it's going to go out of die at about the 34. That was a 32-yard punt by Wood. Chardon will take over, and they're going to try and burn some time off this clock. And with kind of offense they've generated so far in these first 3 quarters, they can take a lot of time off that clock.
They have the ability to do it. For Wickliffe, 6 of their drives have ended in punts. They just haven't been able to get any sustained type of drive going, especially here in the second half.
Well, the defense of Chardon has held Wickliffe, and they've had to punt it 6 times already in the game. Howard Joyner, quarterback. In motion goes Scolaris. And good defensive play by the linebacker, Andy Augustine. Ball carrying on that was Willie Bibb, who's just come in the lineup. I think he's a young man who just moved in from Cleveland Heights. Loss of a 1.5 yards or so. Let's call it a yard loss. 2nd and 11. Scolaris goes in motion. He gets the handoff from Joyner. And he crosses the 35 to about the 36. So he picked up about 3 yards. That is 9 carries now for Mike Scolaris for 59 yards. In fact, that's about the only production he's got on the ground. Can you imagine if Scolaris could do that, what Desapeta does? 22 carries, 4.7 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And is also a good receiver coming out of the backfield. He was injured early in the first quarter. So it's going to be a 3rd and about 9.5. There, 2 men moving again, and apparently a flag is dropped.
Going to be too much time, I think, is the official call on the play.
Delay a game, offense, still 3rd down.
Now Chardon has a total of 10 penalties for a total of 80 yards. And only 3 penalties for 17 yards against Wickliffe. But Chardon is still leading it 24-7. Just at the start here of the 4th quarter. Joyner's got time. Almost trying to pull. Tony Humbert was there defending against number 88. There you see him, Bob Sutka, a senior, 5'10", 150 pounds.
3rd down, possession play. I want to put that ball up one more time to get the first down. Hitting Bob Sutka, number 88. Defender came across, deflected it, so they just couldn't keep his eye on it. Ball harmlessly into the ground. And again, we'll see the punter for Chardon.
This is Mike Scolaris. Back deep will be Granito on the near side, Hamilton on the far side. Whoa! Way over the head of Hamilton. And he touched it. Or is that out of bounds? Either recovered by Chardon or it was out of bounds. Too far for us to see. Nope. You can tell by the reaction of Chardon that it was out of bounds. 44-yard punt for Mike Scolaris.
Snap from center is not good. The punt goes down. It gets over the head. Now we'll watch it here. He goes over for it. Touches it at this point. So he has to cover it. It gets in between his legs, but apparently the ball is right over there on the line. You can see it as well as we can. Like it was recovered by Chardon. Referee said the ball was on the line, so Wickliffe will come up.
And this one, we're running with this one is Chris Scolaris, but another flag.
Fortunately for the Blue Devils, it's going to go against them. Quarterback is scrambling in the back. Scolaris wants to put the ball in the air. He's a good scrambler. The left-hander comes across, fakes to Martin on the play. His guard is dropping back, trying to help him on the play, number 56. The official throws the flag down. Scolaris keeps moving with the ball, all for naught, because they will explain it to Chardon.
Look at that. 80 yards now. It's 4 for 27. It's going to cost him 10, and he will take it back to the 10-yard line.
On the offense, first down.
We certainly have had enough penalties, haven't we? 14 all total. It's been a long game. We still have 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 24-7 a score. Chardon on top. This is a handout to the fullback, Ron Zinte, and he hasn't carried very often, and another flag is thrown. That was a 1st and 27 for Wickliffe. So that penalty. It could have been a face mask. It is face mask.
On the defense.
Well, they get the yardage of the run from the spot. They'll have 15 to get them back up in working area.
So they'll have a now
face mask, 31 on the defense.
That's Bob.
Second down.
Insecura. It is still first down. He said second, but it's still first down, and it's first and about 2 yards. The ball, nose of the ball, just about touching the 35. Intercepted. Getting his hand out there was Bob Sutka, the monster back, and knocked it away. It is intended for Pressman, but there's another flag.
Guess what? Another flag.
It looks like it's roughing the passer.
They'll have enough for their first down. They're trying to hit Dave Pressman, number 20, coming across. They had sent Jeff Grimm, 25, about 40 yards down the field. He was out of sight. Scolaris would have a hard time winding up and hitting him, so Pressman was coming all the way from the other side of the field. He's ready to throw. We're going to lose it at the quarterback because we're going to see the end of the play where it was almost intercepted by the Hilltoppers. The back of it was the penalty.
I'll tell you, Scolaris threw that in the crowd. There were 2 defenders right there. But they'll spot the ball right on midfield stripe. And so this is the best penetration so far of this half, but a timeout is going to be called by Chardon. That's their second. They have 1 remaining. And they had got the original line of scrimmage was the 27. Now they're at midfield, and they kept on going back and forth. They were all the way back at one time to the 10. Then they got to the 20, then to the 35, and now at midfield, and all of that yardage on one play.
One play with all of that and a few of those little yellow flags that have dotted the field here at the Chardon Memorial Stadium, especially in the last 4 or 5 minutes. 24-7, the score at the end of the first quarter was Chardon 14, Wickliffe nothing. It was 21-7 at half. Then the field goal in the third quarter for Chardon with 24-17. At 5:43 in the first quarter, Chardon opened up with Wickliffe on a 1-yard blast. 6-0. Ash kicked the point. Wickliffe went 5 yards just a few minutes later with Ash. That's where they jumped out to that 14-0 lead and have held it ever since.
Wickliffe's got to do something on this possession. It's a first down from midfield. And Scolaris rolls out. He's got some running room. He crosses the 40 and is driven out of bounds at about the 30, 39, or maybe right on the 40. It's enough for a first down. No, it is not. It's good. Yes, they are. They're calling it a first down. It's going to be that close. Because the nose of the whole ball was sitting right on the 40, and the nose of the ball was just barely getting across the 50, so it's enough for a first down. And that is the 9th first down of the game for Wickliffe. Scolaris can really run. Pitch back goes to Martin. Gets the hole. Stays on his feet, and he gets close to the 20, 30-yard line.
It's easy to see why Martin has picked up the yardage he has. The record that they have for Wickliffe. Scott again now on a 9-yard gain. These are tough yards. He gets most of it on his own as he just keeps pile driving up there enough that they'll call for a measurement, give him a little bit of a blow back there, get a chance to regroup, and the coaching staff, of course, decide what they want to do. They have to get on that board in a hurry.
Well, it's right on the 30. It's either going to be a 3rd and 9 or it's going to be a first down.
That's a wide line. I guess that's why you have to do it.
Matter of inches, as you can see.
And that's the way it's been going for the Blue Devils.
Well, let's see if Scolaris takes the handoff from Brian Buheit. And here we are at our great booth. By the way, we want to thank Gary Hanlon, the athletic director here, and his entire staff for the courtesy they've shown us. Especially, if you go right above us, you're going to see a lean-to they made, and that's where the Chardon coaches are talking to the people down below. So they built that so we could have some room up here in the press box. There it is. We just built that this week. Just great people out here. Boosters Club, the parents groups, the administration, coaching staff, the entire athletic department. Matter of inches, as you saw. Yep. And another flag is thrown. Well, let's see. Looks like it's going to be against Wickliffe. He was blocking below the waist. So with a matter of inches now is going to be a 2nd and 5. Oh, 10. Sorry about that. 15. I'm sorry about that, too. And you saw blocking below the waist. Now, their ball was on the 30, and they're taking it all the way back to the 47-yard line. Oh, there it is.
There it is right there. Definitely illegal block. Had to be called.
Going deep. He's got a man open. And pulling this one in. Number 84. Gets it inside the 5-yard line. Pulling this one in, and we don't have an 84. I don't have him on my depth chart, and the roster doesn't show an 84.
Can't help you. It's nowhere up here that we can see, but number 84 in the program somewhere, number 1 in the heart of Wickliffe Blue Devils right now. Chris Scolaris firing that ball down on the side. Almost one more step and he'd gone all the way. They're up there. They're ready to go.
1st and goal. And this is Martin. Martin gets his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. And now it's 24-13. .738 to go in the game. Scolaris will hold. Kicking will be Kurt Braun. Got a strong leg. He gets a quick hike on it, and indeed both these teams have excellent extra point kickers and field goal kickers. So with 7:38 showing on the clock in the fourth quarter, it's a 24-14. Wickliffe has cut the lead to 10.
Scott Martin on the pitch to the right side. They've run it so many times, and now it's only 4 yards. Scott is not to be denied as he goes into the end zone. Picks up the 4 to put them back on the board here in the fourth quarter. The extra point was good, so there's 14 on the scoreboard now for the Blue Devils, but still 24 for Chardon. Set up by a pass play from Chris Scolaris to his favorite target, number 84. Coming across, I wish I knew his name, but we can't help you on that. But it was a beautiful catch.
Kirk Brom, all-conference, all-county kicker last year. You can see why. Will be kicking off to Scolaris, Delima, and I think Bibb. And it's going to be an onside kick, but it's going to be covered by the Hilltoppers. Oop. Look at that, minute 37, 90 yards. And of course, a lot of that was picked up, got that first down, and all those 3 penalties in a row. But in 5 actual plays, they went 90 yards. And that Martin going in from 4 yards out. As a matter of fact, that is the first reception and the first touchdown for number 84, because he's not on the stat sheet. This is Scolaris. Mike Scolaris, the halfback, goes over that right side and picks up a couple. Now it's ball control for the Hilltoppers, trying to burn out that clock. I'm being told that number 84 is Joe Caroscia. I'm going to take the people and the Chuck's word for that. I hope they're right, because I want to give Joe credit for a great reception. A nice pass by Scolaris. And this is, again, Perry Nicholas, the fullback, and it's recovered by Wickliffe. This could get very interesting.
Indeed, these games always are at some point or another. Blue Devils getting that ball. It was a change of play at the line of scrimmage from Joyner, giving the Nicholas up to the middle on the, well, a little bit to the left side with a pulling guard. But here the ball is popped out now. This gets rolled over right away from the ball.
Here is Martin on the play. He got the right side, and another flag is thrown as Martin gets to the 40. It's going to be against Chardon, apparently. Nope, it's going to be against Wickliffe. Nullifying a 9-yard run.
40 on the offense.
That's the last 2 penalties were for illegal blocks like that. And they're calling this one against number 40, Andy Augustine, who is in as a flanker. He's a big man, 6'1", or 6 foot, 180 pounds as a linebacker, and they use him as a blocking back. And he's big enough and strong enough to do it. Second-year starter on defense, and this year is playing some offense as well. Good linebacker.
Number 40 on the offense, first down.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10, 15, 17, let's call it. We've got to get inside the 40 to about the 38 for a first down. Let's see if Scolaris wants to put it in the air. Pitch back, Martin, he's going to throw it. No flag. They're looking for pressure in, and all Martin did is just threw in an area, because everybody was following his run, and they had Scolaris out there as well as Presserin.
What they did, and Scolaris is a quarterback that started that, and he just rolled out, and of course nobody is assigned to it. They took the zone away with Presserin, but really Martin didn't have much of a chance, but he would let go with it anyway just to fire out there, and it was close. There was only one man covering both of them.
It's going to be second and long. And rushed again. Poor Chris Scolaris just cannot get any time even to look downfield and set up to throw it. The loss is all the way back to the 33. Rob Sinko, along with help from Bob Sutka, put the sack on Scolaris.
The replay will show there's just no line blocking in there. There's too much penetration. Quarterback doesn't have a chance. If it's not one man from the other side, you can get him from either way. He didn't have any place to go.
They've got to get there at their own 34, and they have to get to the 34 of Chardon, and it's third down. The screen, yes, boy, did they read that well. They get it into Martin, but reading that beautifully was number 77, the linebacker, Ed Ash, a junior at 5'10", 185 pounds. Boy, he was just sitting back waiting for that to happen.
He did on that play, and he's done it before. He's had a good game with some nice tackles on the play, and either blitzing linebacker or dropping back. Since it's the obvious passing down with those long yardage, you have your linebackers dropping back, and that's what he did here. He dropped back right into the area, saw the play, stopped Martin.
That was the fourth. And an interception. Grabbing this one is number 32, Jeff Polima, and a flag is thrown, but that was on the run back, I think.
But there was another flag thrown over on the side by the line judge a little bit earlier. So I think we're going to have to talk to the referee. There it is.
It will be Chardon's ball.
You heard it, Chardon's ball.
Okay. Scolaris going across. Now just trying to cross over the middle. Playing center field now that you can do that. It was a fourth down play. Polima coming up with his third interception of the season. Flag is thrown right in here. The line judge threw the flag. It was after the interception, so they have the penalty marked off. But the big thing is the Chardon Ball Club can have that ball, and there isn't much time.
That was the third interception of the year for Polima. Chardon takes over, first down.
Wait a minute.
And Polima comes across the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. And so that is going to cost the Hilltoppers 5. They get back to about the 30.
Start on the offense.
That stops the clock with 4:19 remaining in the ball game. That's 130 yards now in penalties against Chardon, and yet they've got a 10-point lead, 24-14. And a mix-up in the backfield. This is Scolaris. He gets to about the 33, maybe the 34. They'll spot it at the 34.
Howard Joyner looks at his two backs and says somebody has to be here. It was a balanced line, double wing with a motion. Quarterback goes back, and it just didn't have anybody there. Really, he handed the ball off to his back, but the timing was not there on the play.
The handoff was to Wickliffe. Second down. Trying to cut it in. Cut it inside, and boy, did he take some shots. Getting up on that one after all those hits was number 32, Jeff Polima. And then on the hits had to be Augustine, and I think Grimm was also in on that hit. Well, you could hear that all the way up here. This may be Division II and Division III schools, but they play awful good football, and they are physical. It's going to be 3rd and 11. Audible, called by Howard Joyner. Joyner throws, complete. I think this is Steve Wilson on the reception, shy of the first down as he gets to the 45. Bringing him down was Dwayne Wood, the linebacker, with help from Jeff Grimm. It's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. Let's see if they go for it. Got 2.5 minutes to go in the game, and they're going to go for it.
Joyner's still in there under center.
They feel they can get a yard.
That's the tightest formation we'll see on that offense.
And the quarterback, Howard Joyner, gets enough for the first down. Boy, I'll tell you, Slazinski and Saley and Scanlon, the two guards in the center. Saley really pushed back the defensive line of Wickliffe and allowed Howard Joyner to pick up 3 yards. First down for Chardon from their own 42. I'll tell you, Bob Doyle's got to say, what do we have to do? Or Tom Rosnick, what can we do? Right up the middle. That was Steffelben, who, when he coming into the game, was wearing 57. You may have saw him carry the ball a couple of times in the first half. We didn't realize it, but they told us later that he changed his number to number 43. He's in at fullback. Steffelben again. He's still on his feet. He's finally wrestled down. Wrestling him down was number 22, Randy Hamilton, a cornerback. But a timeout is called by Wickliffe. That stops the clock with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the game. And they've still got 2 remaining. Chardon has 1. Chardon now with 4 sacks in the game, 2 by Steffelben. Simcoe has 1, and Scanlon has 1. And Nicholas is doing a good job on defense. He's got a couple of solos, and he's got 71 yards on the ground in 13 carries.
Good ground game when they needed it. They move along. Scolaris is fast to the outside. Of course, their one back, Dissipata, not playing after the beginning with an injury. But Scolaris very strong. Everybody else coming across. But Joyner passing has been so strong. Perry Miklas, 13 rushes, 71 yards, 2 TDs, was leading the conference in scoring, probably still right up there when this game is over.
And he's only 5'6", 185 pounds. And he also, that young man benches 300, and he weighs 180 in a 5'6" frame. Does a good job in the classroom, carrying a 3.5 average. 306 total yards for Chardon now. 134 to ground and 172 in the air. And that does not include the 19 yards that are minus yards for the block punt. That was Jeff Palima on the carry. Enough for the first down. So they'll just burn out the clock here. We're down now to 1 minute and 6. Clock is stopped while they move the chains, and now they wind it, and we'll start running it again. Another audible by Howard Joyner. This is Chris Steffelben, right up the middle again, picks up about 4 or 5 yards. You know, this is going to solidify, I think, Chardon in the Division II, Region 5. They had a lead. They were in 3rd place. So they'll get a few points here, but Wickliffe is a Division 3 school. You don't get as many points. And Chardon had a bad break. They played Riverside Madison earlier this year. Riverside Madison a few games later had an ineligible player. They reported it to state, and so there was a forfeit. So Chardon lost, because it was a Division I team, 3 points.
Well, they lost 3 in that.
They lost 3 because they would have had 3. Don Friedman from the Cleveland Press. It's been a long time since we've been at games together, but it's good to see him again. Fine scholastic writer for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, formerly with the Cleveland Press. So it's going to be a second, let's call it 6, on that 4-yard pickup by the senior, Steffelben. He's good size, 5'11", 185 pounds, also a good student, a 3.5 average. And he hits hard, gets across the 35, falls forward to about the 34, where Grimm and Wood brought him down. Timeout's going to be called by Wickliffe, and that is their last timeout. They cannot stop the clock anymore. They're down by 10. 31 seconds to go in the game. And as you'll notice, that Chardon is in that power offense. They've got that fullback with 2 halfbacks on each side. And they got away from that double wing. And as I said, top of the game, you don't see a double wing very often, and I don't think you can react as quickly as when you're playing the traditional eyes or just split backs with flankers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, really, if you don't see it that often, as you mentioned, the team has to stop. They have to get coached again. And not only that, but tonight we saw the balanced line on the double wing, but a lot of times Chardon had gone with an unbalanced line. They didn't do it tonight, but the team has to be ready for it. That's another wrinkle that you have to practice, look at, move people around. Sometimes those defensive linemen, they don't like to get all that movement around. They like to just go in and hit somebody.
Third and a couple. Ziffelman. No, this is kept by Joyner. He goes down voluntarily all the way back to the 43-yard line. That'll bring up a fourth and a kicking down, but clock is still running because Wickliffe is out of timeouts.
That'll do it.
And that'll do it. They will not have to get another playoff. There will be no delay of game. So that will end it. The Hilltoppers, who have demonstrated their offensive prowess and their defense, did a whale of a game stopping an excellent Wickliffe team. They came in 7-1, 4-1 in the conference, and really here in the CVC on any given Friday, anybody can come out on top of this conference. Excellent coaching and good athletes. 138 yards on the ground for Chardon, led by 71 yards on 13 carries for Nicholas, and in 8 of 15 for Joyner, and he hit the big passes, 172 yards. And they had 5 receivers who've caught them, and one for a touchdown of 35 yards to Satka. So 310 yards total, Brian, and only 78 on the ground for Wickliffe, who's been averaging 275 coming into this game in rushing, 79 in the air, matching it 6 of 17 for Scolaris, but he just never had time to throw, and he had 1 interception, a total of 157 yards. So doubling the offensive output, Chardon over Wickliffe.
And Chardon getting off to that great start in the beginning. First time they have the ball, 5:43, just moving down and scoring on the nice pass play. Joyner put that ball in the air early in the first quarter. Maybe took all of us by a little bit of a surprise, and hitting his receivers, getting a score. Then coming right back a couple minutes later, scoring again with Miklas going up the middle for 5 yards. And they're down 14-0. Wickliffe was the Chardon, and the type of ball team they have, it's pretty hard to come back. They like to run with that ball, and they do it in the form of Martin. He had his 76 yards on 22 carries, a lot of tough yards. He was a tough ball carrier, but they just couldn't get the passing game going. And then it got to the point where they had a pass. Chardon dropped off, could play the pass, and their linebackers really were strong, very tough to run against. Good defensive team, much better, much stronger defensively than I thought they would be. I really thought Wickliffe would be able to drive on them like we saw the one time when they drove down to the 16-yard line, but it was not to be tonight for the Wickliffe Blue Devils.
So Chardon ends up now, we got one more game that they've got to play, and if my memory is correct, it's going to be against Solon next Friday night. And Wickliffe is going to have to go against Chagrin Falls, but I think this almost gives the championship. But anything can happen in this
Anything
conference.
will happen. They both have
at least they have
games.
A share of it.
Depends what happened with Chagrin Falls tonight.
So at that final score, once again, 24-14. Chardon comes out on top. And so for all of us, Brian Powers, Ken Geisler, statistician, and Dennis Malik, our spotter. This is Mike Massa saying good night from Chardon from all of us at WVIZ Sports.
Tonight's game was made possible by the Cleveland Browns, proud supporters of high school football in the greater Cleveland area. The Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Cleveland, bottlers of Slice and Diet Slice. And the East Ohio Gas Company, the Sunshine People, who bring natural gas to more than 1 million people in Northeast Ohio, heating homes, cooking meals, and providing energy for industry.